Hi, this is Alice Hendon from the Creator's Leaf, and in this video I'm going to show you how to draw an original pattern of mine called All Boxed Up. Typically it's drawn with straight lines. This time I'm going to do it with some crazy wonky kind of lines, curvy lines. And I just drew out a section on this piece of paper for us to work in. It doesn't matter if you're doing it square or rectangle. Doesn't matter if it has definite edges, or if you're just filling in a section that you've got in a piece that you're drawing on. I'm going to divide this into 15 little blocks, and we're going to work in opposite rows. So I'm going to make one row go all one direction. The next row is going to go the opposite way. This one will go that way, and it will just keep reversing. So let me show you how to draw this, what you do. Let's work in this little square right here. We're not going to start our line all the way at the top. We're going to start like right there. Come down just a little bit and go straight to that line. Same thing over here, and touch that line. Rotate your paper and draw your crossbar. That's all there is to All Boxed Up. Seriously. You just do that a whole lot of times. We're going to take that, come down again just a little bit, and go to you touch the line, repeat over here, rotate, draw your crossbar. Same thing. Rotate, draw your crossbar. And you're going to do that till this little section is all boxed up, which is where the name came from, All Boxed Up. I'm thinking one more. Crossbar. Okay, that section is now done. Go to the next section and do the exact same thing. Don't go all the way to the top. Start just below the top and do your line down to the touching the bottom bar. Because of the way the line was curved, that's why I drew the top line curvy. Come down, do the same thing on this side, touch that line at the bottom, draw your crossbar. Again, it's a little curvy because that's the way the line was. Come down, go down, touch the line, same thing here, crossbar. We're going to do this probably 2 more times until this section is all boxed up. Okay, so now we have 2 sections all boxed up. I'm going to go to the third one, do the same thing. And some people might be able to do this without rotating the tile. I am not one of those people. So now I'm going to skip a row of sections and go to the one in the middle and do the exact same thing I just did. And because of the way these lines curve, this section is going to look totally different than the one before. Come down a little bit and go to the line, crossbar. Crossbar. Because of how fat this section is, I'm going to be able to put a little bit more lines in before my section is all boxed up. And then I'm going to come to this next section. Remember, I don't go all the way to the top. I start down just a little bit, and I follow the lines, the curve of those lines. This line comes up a little bit, so my boxes are going to go up a little bit. Follow the curve of the lines and just keep going. Sorry. Trying to keep this where it's in view of the camera and without having to look at the screen every 5 seconds. Okay, same thing with this section. I'm going to do it exactly the same way. Follow the curve of the lines. Crossbar on this section is pretty straight, which is not always the case when you're doing it wonky. Wonky, that's a highly technical term, meaning not the ordinary, something different. And I'm going to fit one more in here before I give up on this section. Doesn't really matter how many you have in there. Skip a row of sections, and we're going to do this last section the same way, not starting at the very top. Go down, follow the line of the boxes. Rotate, do the crossbar, and I think I'm only going to be able to fit one more in here because of how narrow this section is. Remember, don't start at the very top. I'm sorry, I got to remember to pull this down. Follow the line of the crossbar, down, down. This section is pretty straight here. Crossbar isn't, but the sections are. I guess it's going to be my last one there, and then do this very last section, and then I'm going to show you where we go from there. There's a whole lot of rotating the tile going on with all boxed up. Okay, we've got 3 sections finished where I started just above the bottom line and went till it touched. These next 2 sections we're going to do the exact same way, but we're going to rotate the tile first. So now they're going to be going the opposite way, but we're going to draw it the same way. We're going to start not quite to the bottom and go to our line, and we're going to touch. Then we're going to do our crossbar, and we're going to keep going until this section's all boxed up. Trying to think how I could do this without having a ton of sections in here because it makes the video long, but you need to have a good many sections to be able to see what I'm going to show you with the shading. Let's do one more here, crossbar in there. Okay, next one, not all the way to the top, but you do go all the way to the bottom. Not all the way to the top, but you do go to the bottom of that section. Crossbar, bottom of the section, crossbar, bottom of the section, crossbar, and you do that until this section is all boxed up. And we're going to call that boxed up. Not quite to the top, but all the way to the bottom. This one's going to look cool because of the way the legs curve outwards. Not going to be able to get as many sections in here because it's close at the top and they're going to get where they almost touch. So that's really all we're going to be able to fit into that one. It's too narrow here to put another section. So come over here, not all the way to the top, but I do go to the bottom of that section and touch. And then we do a crossbar, and we're going to do that same thing in this section until it's all boxed up. I don't know, this is starting to shape up to remind me something really Seussical, something from Dr. Seuss's houses, his landscapes. Not all the way to the top, remember, but you are going to the bottom of that section. I like the curvy lines. I like the way they look, and they're going to look really awesome when we shade them. So I'm going to do this till this section is all boxed up. Probably going to be able to get a little bit more in this section just because this is a wider piece. We're going to call that all boxed up. Last section, not all the way to the top, but we do go down to touch the lines. And we do our crossbar, which is kind of curvy because the way the lines are laid out. Doesn't matter how many sections you put in this, how many lines you start with. They can be straight or curved. Doesn't make a bit of difference. It looks different every time you draw this pattern. I'm going to do just one more little short section, like a little short stack. Okay, then those are all the sections for my Wonky all boxed up. It's kind of crazy looking, and you see what it looks like there. Now we're going to shade it. Okay, let me show you where you shade. Let's go with this section right here. See where the points are? We're going to draw some pencil line right along those points. We're going to do a little bit more along these points. And then I'm going to take my tort and I'm going to pull the color in this way. I'm going to push the color down that way. Push the color across, pull the color down. We're going to do that along every set of those little 90-degree angles. 90-degree? So we're going to pencil line here, and if you look, you can go all the way down to the next section because those little lines continue because the way we rotated our tile. So you can go ahead and get your pencil lines down for two sections at once. You're just going to go where where all the little corners of the boxes meet. And you're going to draw your pencil lines. And where they carry over to the next one, you're going to carry your lines over. Some of these are going to be big, some of them are going to be narrow because of the shape of the section before we started putting in the lines. Okay, then you're going to take your tort. Remember to push up, push across. You're going to make it follow the direction of the lines. So where the lines go across, you push it across. Where they go down, you pull the color down. Across and down, across, down, across, down, across, down, across, down. The shading's kind of weird because I've got this laying on a foamy kind of mat, so it's kind of spongy and may not be as sharp looking as it would normally be. Just remember to push your shading in the direction of the lines. That goes up and across, down and across. And you push it the directions of the lines. It really is easier that way. Some people will do it in little swirly circles, and that works too, but I like it better pushed in the direction the lines are going. These lines go up, so I'm pushing it up. Those go across, I'm pushing it across. These go down, these go across. Across and down, across and down, across and up. And I'm almost done with the shading. You see how fast you can get this shaded. Now look at that. Before we shaded it, it just looked like a bunch of crazy wonky boxes. But now with the shading, you can follow the flow or the direction the lines go. This middle section goes up and over, so it goes like with the wonky lines. If I shaded this heavier, it would just make it stand out a lot more. If I was shading directly on a hard desktop, that would have worked. It would have looked darker and didn't stand out more, but I think this is pretty awesome the way it looks just like this. So there it is, my Tangle pattern all boxed up wonky style. You can find this pattern on my blog, thecreatorsleaf.com or alicehendon.com. Under my Tangle patterns, there's a whole bunch of original patterns on there that you can look at and practice with. I hope you enjoyed this and that you'll use my pattern all boxed up.